Hey, Racquetballers, we're here with Dwayne Wolf. We're going to do the 2013 INSRA State Doubles recap from this year, and we're just going to kind of go through the winners of each division and the runners-up. And first of all, I guess we'll get your take, Dwayne, on how you thought the event went.
Well, the event was very exciting. We had a lot of great competition. The unfortunate part is we didn't have as many players as we'd like to have had. I think a lot had to do with the short Christmas season, made it tough. We also had some weather that weekend, so you never know in December. So right now we're kind of looking at next year that maybe we'll move it earlier, maybe even to the October time frame, just to give people a better chance to do that and be a part of it. Because again, we were less than 50 players this year, and that's very disappointing.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, even though it makes our job today a little bit easier, yeah, it might be a time for a change. One thing that did change for this year is the actual giveaway, and you're modeling that right now, as you can see. Dwayne's going to stand up. I don't know how you can see it in the light here. Yeah, you can see you got the INSRA logo on the left leg there, and yeah, they are. They're really nice, kind of bumming around the house, kind of things, or warm up before you hit the court. And they're very, very nice. Now, do you have we still have some left. They're $20 a piece, which is our cost. And so you can get a hold of me, or you can get a hold of Becky Bowman. She has the supply as well. Okay. So, I mean, even if we did have the decreased amount of players, I guess it seemed like people are enjoying themselves. Would you say that?
Yeah, it was a good time was had by all. There was great food. It was great camaraderie as always. And again, there was some outstanding competition at all levels.
Yeah, and speaking of which, I guess we might as well get onto that now and start with our first group.
Okay, we had 13 divisions as a whole, and there's no particular order, so we're just going to kind of run down what I've got here. And the first one I have up is the 25 plus. So that's open division, 25 years of age or above. And winning that division was Kyle Smith and Diane Moore.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've both seen both of them in action. They're tremendous players. What had you been able to witness this one, or no?
I got to see little bits and pieces of it. Unfortunately, running the desk, I don't get out to see much unless I'm on the court. So, but they ended up taking out Travis Fudge and Ross Oberholzer. I believe that's how it's pronounced. But I think it was a tough match, and I think they had some good play in that division. So it was very competitive.
Yeah, you'd pretty much expect a tough match on all sides, and when you get up to that skill level.
That's absolutely correct.
Okay, so moving on.
Next we have the 40 age group. And in this one, I think it was a 40 BC or AB, if I'm not mistaken. And in that one, we had the James brothers, so to speak, win, but they're not James brothers. They're both named James. James Doherty and James Christie, and they both play out of Valpo. As a matter of fact, they're both professors out of Valpo, and so they were able to win that division, beating Craig Coleman and Jesse DeLuca.
Now, these guys playing out of Valpo, are they relatively new to us or not?
They've been playing around a little bit. They both also play tennis too. So and they run some tennis events and so forth. I had a chance to talk with them that day and get to know them a little bit. But they had a good time, and they did very well.
Okay, and that's kind of a twist too. I mean, when you run into a tennis player turned racquetball player, it ends up for some interesting shots. Would you say?
Yeah, there's the overhand smash that works for them somehow, but for the rest of us, usually ends up falling short.
Yes, and it's kind of a confounding thing. I wonder if Coleman and DeLuca ran into that in their final. Be fun to ask them about that one of these days.
Yeah, I'm sure they did. I'm sure there were some different shots that threw him off a little bit.
Cool. And I guess we're moving on to 50 plus now.
50 plus. Larry Wachowski and Joe Alamilo, our great band member and singer with. Let's see, the band is, oh gosh, now I'm drawing a blank.
Oh, Monterey?
Monterey, that's right, Monterey. The guys that play like crazy, they couldn't play that weekend, but they came and played racquetball this weekend, and they took first in the 50 plus. And they beat Clayton Campbell and Jeff Hodler.
Okay. Well, and it's no shock really to see Joe and Larry, or Joe involved in any, because he's such a. It seems to me he's adaptable and he's easygoing enough to really have any kind of. I mean, any partner that teams up with him, they adjust really well. And really, all those four names I've played against. I think I've played against Joe before, and I know, and I think I've played against Clayton, and all four of them are outstanding.
Yeah, it was a really good matches, and I think it was very competitive. Again, didn't get to see it, but I think it was a tough fought division.
Cool, excellent. So I guess we're gonna move on to the straight up skill divisions, at least for one division.
Correct. And the men's A, which actually, believe it or not, it was a round robin division, which most of these were because of the limited players. This one came down to a tie, but because of head to head match and winners, Travis Fudge and Ross Oberholzer, they were able to win, beating Drake Devers and Jim Bono. Again, it was a straight up tie, but because their head to head match, Travis and Ross won, they were able to win the division. And I was in that division. I was only 5 points behind, so it was a very tight division. It was good competitive matches.
Well, I bet, and again, you can't ask for any more four really competitive players right there, and of course you're not that much far behind either.
Right. It was a lot of fun. It was again very competitive. Every match was hard fought. Because when you're fighting for points, every point makes a difference. So, and again, it was right on the money, tied, and it was the head-to-head match that won it for them.
Excellent. That's how you probably really want every division to end anywhere, to be settled just real close, and it puts a little bit more drama into the whole thing, I guess.
Yeah, it does. And then you've got everybody in the right divisions and everything's good. And even if you lose, you lost, giving it all you had. So felt good about that.
Well, that's good. All right. So now we got another age division coming up, huh?
Well, we have the 100 plus, which is the Centurion division. And that means that both players, their age combined has to be 100 years of age or older. So you get a wide range of that. So you can have somebody that's 70 years old playing with somebody who's 30. Or you could have two 50-year-olds. So whatever it is, their combined age has to be over 100. And I will tell you that it was the most competitive division that we had this year. I mean, there weren't many teams in it, but it was highly competitive and hard fought. And winning it was Jose Martinez and Rich Bowman. Rich Bowman coming back for some knee operations and so forth, and he didn't look like he lost anything at all. He was playing incredible. Trust me, because I played against him, and it wasn't fun. And they beat out the father-son team of Ryan Griffin and Vince Griffin. Again, there's a big age difference but they're able to go over the 100 mark. So, but that was hard fought and a great match.
Excellent. And again, I mean, like you said, that you've played against, of course, Rich Bowman's a Hall of Famer, Vince Griffin, I think, and Ryan Griffin, yeah. So that's about the best it can get. And again, the Centurion division, would you say it kind of proves that racquetball's an ageless sport?
It is. I mean, again, you have to be competitive regardless of what age you're at. But that's above and beyond. You can't just be 60 years old and be able to compete in that division. You got to be able to compete at a high level. And so, yeah, everybody's almost everyone, I think, in that division was over 50. I think Ryan was the only one under 50. So that just shows you that there was some great racquetball at at all ages.
Yeah, that's a real positive sign for folks who might have picked it up later on in their lives. You can pick it up at any time and really have a lot of fun with it.
That's correct. I think the only thing that changes is there's a lot more Advil and a lot more Bengay being used afterwards.
Well, it helps the economy.
That's a good point.
So, all right.
Men's Open. And no surprise, winning here again was Adam Taylor and Ryan Griffin. I think they won 5, 6, 7, 8, 14 years in a row, something like that. I think actually it's 7 years in a row. I think it's time for the two of you guys to split up and make it a challenge for everybody else. But no, they're a tough force to beat. And, unfortunately, I think the challenge there is we just have to have more teams, and get a bigger rounds, bigger draws, give them some more competition. But I think they had a great finals match with Diane Moore and Kyle Smith. I think they came in second, and I think that was a very hard fought match.
Well, that's good. I mean, like you said, Adam and Ryan are probably working on another state proclamation or whatever. They got an award from the state one year. I remember that.
Right. Exactly. I think it helps when you have a father who's involved in those areas. But yeah, they did. They had that a few years ago, and that was back when I think they won 4 in a row or something like that, and they've continued to win every year since. Other than when I think maybe Adam was hurt a year or so.
Sure.
So
well, I mean that definitely helps the recognition of the sport and all that stuff. But yeah, if it was a hard fought match, I mean, you can't really ask for more, I think. But yeah, you add a few other teams in there, it might mix things up a little bit more.
Exactly, and I think that's what we hope to have next year. And I think again, if we move it earlier, maybe we'll get that.
Okay, excellent. Let's see. We're moving on to mixed A. Ooh.
Mixed A. So we mixed doubles. So a man and a woman playing, and taking out the win or being the winner in mixed A was Steve Spear and Jana Noble.
Okay, I have a feeling we're going to mention Jana's name at least one more time in this video. But this one, and then I see Joe Alamillo on there again. And Kathy Taylor. Yeah, I mean, again, you can't. These finals are just filled with 4 players that are just great. I've played with, I think, all 4 of these folks in there, and they all know exactly what they're doing. They, because sometimes it's a progressive thing. You don't know who your partner might be sometimes from these things, and state doubles definitely fills in. Like we said, some people couldn't make it, and you may have had to switch up. But I can. It's not surprising to me to see these 4 involved in the final.
Right. Yeah. And again, just like you said, if you don't have a partner, don't hesitate to give us a call, because there's always somebody looking for a partner, and at the last minute we can certainly add another team and do that, and we do that up till almost the very last minute, which is about probably Wednesday night or even Thursday morning before we start to play on Saturday. And we're able to, depending on the division, we're able to add teams in. So never hesitate to give us a call and say, hey, I'm available and I'm looking for a partner. Can you help me out?
Yeah. And again, I don't know if these 4 normally partner with each other, but they work well together. That's obvious. And I keep on saying final. Of course, a lot of these were round robin, but it ends up sort of being a de facto final because of all the right. Points. You might not see them right away or see them right away, and then that's over.
Right. Yeah. In case, most likely it's their match head to head that was the tough one. That probably, if they're first and second, they probably have the toughest match of the bunch in the round robin, and that's what really, separates, and sometimes it is, a point or 2, and that's what makes round robins so challenging, because every point matters. Even if you lose, you have to lose big, and meaning lose big by having a lot of points. So if you lose 15-14, those 14 points could carry you a long way in the next match, because you don't know how that's going to turn with the other players.
Yeah, and a bad game will really hurt you. So you just got to think, if you're down big, just get points, get points, get points, get points.
Yeah, exactly, because you never know how as I mentioned earlier, I lost by 5 points, and so you don't know. And the other teams were tied. I mean, so 1 point would have swung it either way. So
gets incredibly close, especially in doubles round robin.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. All right, so we're moving down to mixed B.
Mixed B, and you said we would mention Jana again, and we were. And I think this was, again, normally players don't get to play in 2 different divisions, but I think this was a fill-in. So Jana, but she played with a different partner. She played with Mike Higgins, and I guess you were involved in the other side. So
yes, I was, and just like back at state singles, I get to come in second again. But this again, I mean, just like when I played against Peter in that final, I mean, it was a fun time. It's no shock again to see Jana's name in there, and of course Mike Higgins, and you can tell. That Jana's pretty adaptable. She can play pretty well with anyone, and Mike is too. I've played against both of them, and they're tremendous. And it was my first time playing with Kim Remchisel, and we did okay getting second. I thought, we did all right. And you develop that relationship and the knowledge of that person, and even if like Jan and Mike, and then Jan also and Steve, you might not partner with that person again for a while. If you know enough about your partner, you can know where to be and know what your partner likes to do and what they don't like to do. And this one was really fun because it ended up, I mean, of course, being sort of a character building experience for me and Kim. But then again, that's still a positive. I mean, it's a positive. We were learning how to play with each other. Jan and Mike are just, I mean, they were way, I mean, they were, as a team, they were far above us in terms of execution and being where they were supposed to be, but that's how you get better. You can't get better playing people that you can beat all the time. And for us to be able to have that experience, I think is a win, in our book. And, you know, we still got second in the division. We played two other really good teams that had their quirks and their advantages and what they tried to do as well. And again, it was we had Ryan Griffin. He was all over this tournament, and he was playing with Brooke, and then I think Chris Tierney was playing with Mark. And I forgot his last name, Mark something. But he's a lefty like me, so that was interesting to go up against them.
Ryan played left-handed.
Yes, he did. Yeah, as Seamus also said, that's right. We played two. It was funny because that was the division we had three teams with lefties and then one team only with two righties. So that was kind of odd, but
the righties won though, huh?
Yes, they did. Yes, and you saw that right here on this channel. That's the one we ended up taping, so you get to see how that worked out. Yeah, the righties ended up winning, and it really doesn't necessarily matter. Just like against me and Peter, he was taller, but it doesn't matter if you're taller or shorter. If you're the better player, you're going to win all the time. And they both have just the execution down. I mean, they're automatic. Both of them are, and it's up to me and Kim to get to that point. If we're going to partner again, it's up to anybody to get that point. But yeah, you saw it right here. Right here on this channel. So here you go. I guess we'll move on.
All right, very good. Mixed open, very, very competitive, and we had a family affair here, basically in the end, because the winners were Adam Taylor and Becky Bowman, and they were able to beat Nancy Healy and Rich Bowman.
Oh, house divided. Ooh.
So the daughter finally got to beat the father. And I will tell you, she was very ecstatic about that. I saw something on Facebook about the fact that after all the years of lessons and so forth, it felt really good for her to be able to pull out a win. And but I think it was an extremely competitive match and very hard fought. Again, I said Rich came back, and Nancy hasn't been playing much either, but they were tough. And so they really had, Becky and Adam really had to play hard in order to win that one. So it was a very hard-fought match.
Well, I believe I played 3 out of the 4. I don't think I've ever gone up against Rich. I'm not really looking forward to that. I'm still, in terms of how well I would do. But I've played against Nancy. I played against her a long time ago at Omni, and she's amazing. And I can't imagine how after this time how much she's gotten better. I think it was back when we were both like C players or something, and she was really tough to beat then. And my goodness, and then again the family affair is that's just neat. That's really fun.
It was, and she was very happy with that. It was, and again, it was great to see everybody out there playing again, especially, Rich being out for a while with the knee surgery and so forth, which is great to see someone come back from that. And again, to see the joy on a daughter's face beating the dad. So, it was kind of exciting. So it was great. And we turned right into Women's Open, and we'll mention Becky again, because Becky and Shauna Levinson, they ended up winning Women's Open, and they beat Deb Cheney and Doris Roberts, who ended up second in that. And again, it was a round robin, but they played very well as a team together. But I think it was very competitive division as well. Just again, not as many players as we like to see in those divisions.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, yeah, and that's another thing. I mean, it's sort of now up to the ladies. I mean, you go out and call your friends. We've gotten some new faces in there. We still need more. We need to accelerate and up that curve in terms of participation and try to get a little bit more the next round. There's some more tournaments coming up. One at the end of January, I believe. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. We'll have one for up in Fort Wayne. The Fort Wayne Open will be up there. I think it's the Gearbox Open, and so that'll be up there. And that's a limited amount of players just because of the size of the courts again. So you got to get in there early and play. And then we're looking. One of the exciting things we're really looking at is getting our state singles moved to closer, hopefully, at Purdue University this year, which will be central for almost everybody in the state. And, they have great facilities. They've got plenty of courts. And we had a great turnout last year. We just didn't have enough courts. And now we'll have the courts. And if we can get the turnout, we could just have an amazing singles tournament.
Yeah, I think that's really going to help us out. We've been looking for a central location for a long time, and hopefully that'll make it easier for folks to get out there. So maybe that will help the participation numbers as well. But it's congratulations to Shauna and Becky.
Yes, correct. And we'll move on to women's BC. And there we had Kim, your former partner, Ramshell, and Chris Cerny. They were able to win that division, beating Brooke and Drunkle and Kathy Taylor. And I think they had to do a double match, if I'm not mistaken. Oh. And they had to play a couple of games to 21. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, they were like 19 to 21, 19 to 21. I mean, so they had long matches. It's been a long time since matches were played to 21. When I first started many years ago, that's what it was to play to 21, and you had to win by 2. So I remember how hard that was. I mean, you think, okay, just 6 more points, no big deal. But it's a lot more. It's like another game in each game. So, yeah. But they had to do that and went head to head. And so that one was a hard fought win and a great competitive match on both sides. So it was really great.
Well, this is, and again, it's Brooke Drinkle, but yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. But yeah, and I remember, from my experience, and I'll also relate what Kim said about this, because she was talking about it too. She's like, oh my God, because she really was a little bit, I wouldn't say exhausted, but it was just like, my goodness, this is not going to end, And I remember playing I think there was a time when I played against Steve Spear in singles, and it was 1 game to 21, and that it could be a seesaw affair, because you have so much room for error. It's kind of like outs in a baseball game. You got more opportunities. And yeah, it seemed like one game seemed like a full match. It really did. And in doubles, I couldn't imagine. Goodness sakes. So again, it was how many? It was 2.
I think Chris and Kim, they ended up winning both games 21-19. So both games went for long periods of time. You figure half outs and side outs and no points scored and going back and forth, and then only 4 points separates the winners, and they would have had to win by 2. I mean, so it could have gone on and on and on, but it was tight and tough, and I talked to all 4 of them when they were done, and they were wiped.
Well, that's probably the way it ought to be.
Yep, exactly. That's what you want. When you have limited amount of teams, we try to make it as competitive as possible, and I think we did that, and the ladies took the challenge, and they made it as competitive as possible.
All right, well, that's good. That's great to hear. So we're moving on.
Yes, what we ended up doing, we had men's B and C were kind of combined. All the divisions were combined. I think there were 6 teams, and then from there we took the 2 best B players and then the 2 best C players, because I think there were only 2 C players, but gave them a chance to have some more matches, and then we broke them out, and then they got the 2 best B players with the most points got to go into a finals, and then the 2 C players got to meet each other and play. So in the B division, we had Rusty Leish and Wes Thomas ended up winning that, beating Jesse DeLuca and Craig Coleman. So, I think they would have had 5 matches by the time they got done. So they had a lot going on, and were able to get their full money's worth out of that one.
Well, that's good. And again, I've played against both Wes and Rusty, and they're both. I like to call them gunslingers, because their shots are amazing. I mean, just great shooters, and so yeah, it's impressive to see them play.
And then in the C division, we had George Parabek and Jeff Gillum. They outlasted Mark and Jody Ashley over the C division.
And that's another sort of family affair on one side of the coin there.
Yeah, absolutely. And but they've been playing together and doing better and better all the time. They've been in almost every event and doing extremely well. And George has been around for forever and picks up partners, and he continues to win. So again, I think they had a lot of fun with that division.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Yeah. And congratulations. I guess that's the end of the line as far as all the winners. Congratulations to all the winners. Dwayne, this is kind of, I don't know if I could say this, but we're sort of at the halfway point, I guess, right? Through the main season of INSRA Racquetball. What do you think so far?
The events have been very good as far as the competitiveness of them. The hard part is limited availability of courts. So a lot of the events, we tap out at 50 players or so. When we're up in Fort Wayne or, some of the other venues with 5 courts, you can't do much more than that, because you don't have enough time. And then it makes a 2-day event if you go more, and people don't want to play the 2-day events unless it's a really, really big affair. So hopefully we can now have an even bigger state singles event where, last year we had over 100 players. Hopefully we can get into the 150 or more range and really make that the signature event that it needs to be. So that's really our focal point. But, it's great to see everybody's faces out there. It's great to see people growing. The women are continuing, more and more women are playing. We get the Twisted Sister group out there playing. That's where we try to help women who are just learning play with the players that have been playing for a while and mentor them. Becky Bowman is ahead of that and really helps keep that going. Again, it's hard because you don't have the court space to do things that you would like to do. But we need to have more women players. We need to get, new men players as well. Juniors is really hard from the standpoint of the fact that most places won't allow anyone under the age of 14 to play. So that makes it difficult for kids to get really good early. So that's hard. So we don't have many juniors playing, but it's a fun game. The camaraderie is amazing. We always have great food, and most of the time we're able to go out and get together as a group and have a party afterwards and relax and celebrate, and everybody's, best friends off the court. We're very competitive on the court. But there's a lot of respect and just joy in this game. And as you could tell by the wide variety of players that have won, they're from all over the state and from all different ages.
Yeah, well, and that's hopefully a sign of, like you said, our demographically it looks good, but yeah, we just need the new blood and the new folks to come into the sport. Some people get intimidated. It's understandable, and especially doubles can intimidate you when you're new because there's not much space. You're not real sure where to go. But I mean, it's up to us, I think, to anyone that looks like they're new or a little bit, wondering what's going on, to take them under our wing and say, okay, this, let's talk about this and get you pointed in the right direction, and it'll be all right. Just got to hang in there.
Right. Again, everybody that's involved in racquetball would love to spend time and help you to learn and grow. So don't be afraid to ask anybody out there, any one of the clubs. There's so many places to go play around the state, and each and every person is more than willing to spend time to teach the rules, to play one-on-one, make time out of their schedule. I don't know of a single person that wouldn't help, that's been involved in any tournament of any level, that wouldn't want to help the next player learn how to improve their game or just be comfortable with the game. So it's a lot of fun. It's very exciting. It's a fast paced. It's a great exercise. So get a racket and grab a hold of one of us, and we will help you get better and help you learn the game.
Yeah, we'd love to. Is there anything else we need to mention, I guess? Or?
Well, like I said, hopefully we'll have some more information here soon on state singles. We're trying to get all that taken care of. I hope everybody had a happy holiday, and wish everybody the best of the new year, and look forward to seeing you out on the courts.
We would also like to thank our sponsors and stakeholders for this tournament. They are shown on your screen. Thank you again for everyone who made the 2013 INSRA State Doubles Tournament a success. We could not have done it without you. and we look forward to hosting another state tournament in state singles at Purdue University at the end of the season. Thank you again for all who helped put this event on, and again for our sponsors. We couldn't have done it without you.
Excellent. Well, thanks for talking with us today, Dwayne, and for all you folks watching, for everything INSRA, please visit insra.org. This channel right here on YouTube and on Facebook, search Indiana Racquetball Association. I'm Nathan Caldwell.
I'm Dwayne Wolf.
All right, we'll see you again next time.
Bye-bye.